Hey there guys, I'm back to another video. Today I'm taking a look back on 2022 and talking about every single game I played. I feel like I say this every year, but 2022 was truly a great year for gaming. Here are some of the gems I got a chance to play this year. First up, God of War Ragnarok. At the time of recording, I'm still at the beginning of the game, only about 2 to 3 hours in, but I can recognize people's enthusiasm for the sequel. It jumps you right back into the action and feels just like the 2018 game. The story setup is quite interesting, so I can't wait to see how it all pans out. Hearing everyone's praise for the game, ranking it very highly among the games released this year, has me excited to jump back into it early next year. Next up, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. I still remember playing the first Lego Star Wars game on the PlayStation 2 and absolutely loving it. The Skywalker Saga, however, is the best Lego game yet. The game is the best in the series, making the combat very distinct between lightsaber users and blaster users. There's so much depth within the gameplay, it's actually insane it's in a Lego game. Planets are free to explore at your leisure. Every single Star Wars character is available to play, with all 9 episodes to complete and hundreds of collectibles to obtain. This is a game well worth the price tag if you plan to 100% complete it. Even if you don't, it has a good 18-hour adventure completing every single episode, doubling that if you plan to go for 100%. I did a full review on LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, so you could check that out on this YouTube channel. Gotham Knights. This is a game I was highly anticipating at the beginning of the year, but slowly lost interest closer to the release. The no 60 frames per second on console thing really hurt because, in my opinion, any game released for this generation of consoles, for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, what's the point of the game coming out if it can't even hit 60 frames? Then the game came out and it received very poor reception, littering with bugs and overall not living up to general expectations. Well, I bought the game anyway because it seemed like I could still have fun with it. And this is true. For the 4 to 5 hours I played, I had a fun time with Gotham Knights. The story sets up with Batman dying within the first 10 minutes of the game. Now that the famous Cape Crusader is gone, it's up to his many previous sidekicks to restore peace in Gotham. Being able to choose all 4 playable characters at the start is neat, and they all play differently. Choose one and don't swap until you finish the game. I say this because every single character has their own levels. So if you choose Robin at the beginning and then you decide to switch to Red Hood later on, you have to level Red Hood from level 1, which makes defeating enemies a pain. The combat and movement of the game feels very tanky, like I'm not in full control of my character and sort of where they go. It's likely because Gotham Knights was going to be a live service game like Avengers, but had to quickly switch course because of Avengers' poor reception. The combat does not feel the same as the Arkham games. It doesn't have the same smoothness, and moving around Gotham, whether it's on the bike or on rooftops, also feels kind of janky. So, why did I have fun with this game? The multiplayer aspect actually works decently well. Your friend won't be in the cutscenes with you, but fighting enemies together in real time is so much fun. Both players are untethered to each other, so you're free to explore Gotham at your leisure. Obviously, if the host decides to start a level, then you'll be teleported to their location, but despite that, you're pretty much free to do what you want as you play together. Despite the game feeling kind of bad to play, I can see myself enjoying more of Gotham Knights in the future. The spiritual successor to Until Dawn, The Quarry, delivers on another interactive horror game. Anything can go wrong, will go wrong at Hackett's Quarry. The camp counselors decide to spend one last day at summer camp before returning to their normal lives. Suddenly, these creatures start popping up out of nowhere and the counselors have to survive the night to see tomorrow. I'm trying to not give too much away, but I enjoyed my time with The Quarry. I never played Until Dawn, but I watched many YouTubers/streamers play it because I was too scared to play the game myself. I've eased up on playing horror games over the years, and The Quarry does deliver on a next-gen successor to Until Dawn. I did a full review on this game as well, so you could check that out on this YouTube channel. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It has been years since I played a Call of Duty game, and it's been years since I purchased one at launch. The last game being Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which I didn't even play that much. Jumping back into this title, however, my 10 years away from the franchise, Yeah, it's more Call of Duty. It's definitely different, but it still has the same TDM, domination, and kill confirm modes I still love to play. There are some new modes which I don't really touch because I think they're kind of bad, but hey, it's more Call of Duty. If you want to jump back into the franchise, Modern Warfare 2 is a fine jumping off point. I'm not that good at Call of Duty, but it's still a fun shooter to play. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I absolutely love this game. It's been years since they've tried to make another TMNT retro style beat 'em up game, and this one hits the spot. New characters to play, fantastic sprite work all around, fun boss fights, new gameplay mechanics, and up to 6-player multiplayer. This is a game worth checking out if you're into beat 'em ups. Even if you don't know anything about Ninja Turtles, the base gameplay itself is enough to hook anyone in. You can check out my full review of Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge on this YouTube channel. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. The pink buff ball has finally made their jump into a full 3D landscape. For the longest time, Kirby has been in the 2.5D style of gameplay, which wasn't terrible. It did get stale after a while, especially after Star Allies. So now that he's made the jump into 3D, it's pretty good. I can see it as Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS, but this game being it with Kirby, so it's pretty much just like a normal Kirby level, but expanded into the 3D landscape. Kirby's new ability to suck up objects like a car or vending machine is pretty hilarious. Kirby has never been a super difficult platformer, but the challenge comes from collecting everything. So far, I'm having a lot of fun with Kirby, and I cannot wait to explore more in the Forgotten Land. Frogun is a indie game platformer that's reminiscent of N64 slash PlayStation 1 platformers. The main gimmick is using the Frogun to traverse the levels and complete the platforming challenges. There are collectibles to find in each level, like tokens and such. The platforming itself is challenging. You can use the Frogun to zip across bottomless pits, break objects, and defeat enemies. You don't have a double jump, so you can't correct your movement once you jump. The checkpoints in the levels are sometimes well placed and other times not so much. Because you don't keep the collectibles after you die in a level, that's where it can be a bit frustrating. If you don't care about 100%ing the game, then the collectibles probably don't matter to you. Even so, the checkpoint placement can be annoying. This is a super fun indie game platformer that does stick to the PS1 slash N64 aesthetic. The platforming itself challenges the player, and the visuals being pretty much spot on for the era. If you're a fan of 3D platformers, definitely give Frogun a shot. I'll hopefully do a more in-depth review sometime in 2023. Last but not least, Sonic Frontiers. Sonic Team is going open world for the Blue Hedgehog, but does it actually work? Yes and no. My main gripe with the open zone gameplay is how buggy and unpolished it all is. Terrain popping in as Sonic boosts across the islands is the most noticeable one. The physics sometimes feel all wrong as I'll just randomly die. The cyberspace levels, which are similar to the normal boost levels in Sonic Unleashed, Generations, and Forces, are probably the worst part of the gameplay. The bad physics are emphasized here more and most of the time aren't that rewarding to complete. Some of the cyberspace levels did challenge me in completing all the side missions, I'll admit that. Overall though, the cyberspace levels feel like a second thought. On the flip side, however, the open world collecting and unlocking the map and everything having to do with the open zone is a lot of fun. It does stay its welcome near the final islands, especially the last one, but I still had a ton of fun. The mini bosses throughout the world are great to fight. The big bosses at the end of each island are pretty cool as well. The story is probably the best part of the game, even though it's not the best Sonic story ever. After Sonic Unleashed, the stories for the games became a second thought. Nothing really stuck between game to game. Sonic Frontiers seems to be changing that idea with the introduction of Sage and the story direction it's going for. There's a lot of callbacks to the previous games, which makes the experience more rewarding for longtime Sonic fans like myself. New Sonic fans can definitely get a kick out of the game's story still, even though they're not going to 100% understand all the callbacks. I'm still working on my full review, and it should be out before the end of January. All in all, I'm happy with Sonic Frontiers, but it definitely could improve. But yeah, that's pretty much every single game I played this year. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching this video and any other videos I made in 2022. It really means a lot to me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have not already, you can subscribe. I put new videos up on Saturdays. You can follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter. try to put updates to my future videos. You can check out my podcast at Travis and Damien Podcast over at anchor.fm/Travis Damien Podcast. We post every other week and we talk about games, movies, and anime. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching this video once again. And I'll see you guys next time with more videos.